Hi, my name is Loehr from OneFitStop. Welcome to the Asia Pacific Fit Summit. We're excited to be part of the show and to be with you here today to focus on a session around the boutique industry. What are the challenges we're facing and what can be done to have a really solid rebound and build into 2022? COVID brought a lot of challenges to everyone. The closures, the openings, closures again. And despite that, we've seen some encouraging data come out. Look at the Les Mills Global Fitness Report for 2021. Members are training at 110% of pre-COVID levels. Sales conversions are 108% of pre-COVID levels. And members are telling us they want to get back in the gym. They're twice as excited about doing live workouts as some of their live streaming options. So with that in mind, let's kick it over to the panel session. Let's listen to Jarron Aizen from OneFitStop along with Emma Barry. And we'll hear from boutique operators Jack from Base, Cameron from Body Fit Training, and Selina from KX Pilates. Challenges ahead, yes, but also opportunities for those that do it well. And it's not just for boutique operators, it's also for the big box clubs that are looking to understand how to drive their engagement with their members. So I hope you enjoy the session. Have a great festive season, and I'm wishing you all the best for 2022. Thank you.
Welcome to our Fit Summit panel. Will 2022 be a year of boom or bust for boutiques? My name is Jack Thomas. I'm the founder and CEO of Base, which is a HIIT and strength studio in Bangkok. And I also host the Fitness Business Asia podcast, which has a strong mission to raise the standards of the fitness industry in Asia. Now, today we are joined by a superstar panel of guests, and we'll be talking about the lessons that we've learned in the last 18 months and how we can make next year a great one. So we have today Cameron Falloon of Body Fit Training. We have Emma Barry of Good Soul Hunting, Selina Bridge of KX Pilates, and Jarron Aizen of OneFitStop. Now, I am pumped and excited about what I'm going to learn in this panel. And sadly, our time together is limited today. So I want to get straight into it with some introductions on you and your company. And we're going to start with Selina.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you for having me as well. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Selina Bridge, the CEO of KX Pilates. I have been privileged to be in this position for 3 years now, working alongside founder Aaron Smith and his wife, co-owner Andy Fiorenza. KX, as I think people know, boutique, dynamic reformer Pilates business. We are a franchise model here in Australia with 78 studios and growing. And I guess last year I had a real highlight celebrating the 10 years of KX. So that was a fantastic milestone. And then of course went into pretty much 18 months of shutdown. So I've had the highs and the lows in my time, but really exciting still, great prospects ahead and a wonderful company to be part of.
Thank you, Selina. Cameron?
Thanks, Jack. Cam Falloon, founder of Body Fit Training and joint CEO with Richard Burnett. If you're not familiar with Body Fit Training, or BFT as we're now known, we're a group training HIIT style fitness format with a really strong bias towards strength training. We operate in 4 countries currently, in Singapore, New Zealand, Australia and the USA. We've just sold over 300 franchises and have just partnered with Exponential in the US to really look forward to Exponential growing the US footprint in Canada for us and putting BFT on steroids in the next sort of 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah, congrats on the deal, Cam. And I've done a few BFT classes in Singapore, and I can certainly vouch for the class and the strength training component, which you guys do so well. Jarron?
Thanks, Jack. Great to be here. Jarron here, CEO and founder of OneFitStop. We're a membership management system partnering with fitness businesses around the world. From boutique operations to multi-location big box groups. We pride ourselves on our technology and our customer service. We work on everything from the billing to the membership management, scheduling, branded apps, marketing automation, and sales CRM, and also taking businesses online through this age that we live in as an extension to the business with a fully integrated digital content suite. It's great to be here and looking forward to chatting.
Awesome. And really looking forward to getting into more on the technology side for sure. Finally, we have Global Fitness Authority. Emma Barry also appeared on episode 100 of the Fitness Business Asia podcast. We're going to get you back on for episode 200. Don't forget the deal that we made. Emma, take it away.
So excited to be here, and thank you so much. This is my second speaking arrangement since recovering from COVID. So for anyone who's suffering out there, I'm feeling you. But look, just been adding hats over this time. I advise budgets, boutiques and big boxes. We also have an executive search brand, so we put wonderful senior people into fit tech, well tech and health tech companies. And I also advise for the fit tech company, which is out of Munich. So really delighted to be here. And as we were saying before this, we're in the best industry in the world, and we can't wait to share many of the insights and experiences that we've had over the last 18.
Awesome, Amber. Very happy to have you on the panel. Okay, I really want to start with something positive, a lesson for the listeners, for the viewers. So over the last year, over the last 12 months, what's the biggest lesson that you have learned, and also the biggest achievement for you or your company that you're most proud of? And we'll go in the same order. So we'll start with you, Selina, at KX Pilates.
I think this year, particularly when I compare it to last year, the biggest lesson has just been people and perspectives, and getting through a second massive shutdown because of COVID. The strength of people, the perspectives we've put on the situation has really helped KX get through it in a really strong position. And we've come out of COVID, and we've just literally opened up in Victoria again, with such optimism and strength to carry on the journey that we had left off at the beginning of COVID. So having the right team of people behind you and the right perspectives really, really just help. And I think, we can have a strategy on paper. COVID has shown us that strategy doesn't always go to the plan we had, but having the right people, you can almost create that strategy as well as you go, and really be agile and work with the now. So people and perspectives is really key. I'm really proud. I had a really, half the team were new this year. So even again, despite COVID and shutdowns and having a not normal way of working, the right people have really bound together. And we've actually launched a brand reset as well for KX. And there's a new brand feeling in the market that we're really proud to put out there. So we've continued with innovating how the brand looks and feels, and that goes across everything, marketing and operations, and really the way that we're seen in the market. So we've been able to deliver a brand reset during shutdown, and now just really excited to get the brand out there again.
What have you done to keep the mood of the team sort of high and positive through this time?
Well,
Selina?
Do you know what? We've done the same things as last year. We've had connections digitally. We do our weekly huddles. We have fun and fun and games on Zoom. But at the end of the day, it's people. And when people are self-motivated and wanting to, support the team and support each other, and they're proud of the brand, you don't have to tell someone to do that. You either are or you're not. And the people that we've got in that team have put the bigger opportunity first, the team first. And as I said, it's the people who have been able to make that happen. I think if you've got to force someone to be motivated or force someone to turn up, that's not going to work in the long term. So I've got that team. And as I said, that's the most important thing. And my goal was to try and keep this team. That was the biggest success for me, because if I know I've got the team, then we can do really great things when we reopen as well.
Yeah, it's certainly been a time where you can see that if the team really buy into what you're doing, buy into the brand and the long-term vision, kind of keeps you going through these tough times. That's really great to see. Cam, how about yourself at BFT? What's some of the lessons that you might have learned in the last year? Obviously, big things have happened on your side, and any achievements that you might be the most proud of? I think I might be able to guess what it is.
Yeah, I think similar to Selina, we're a big focus on people, really making sure that we get good people into the organisation, and we're really proud that through COVID we actually over doubled our staff, our head office count, which was a bit of a risk for us, but we survive on our franchisees being successful, and the most important thing to do was to support them through a pretty challenging time. And I think that's probably the proudest thing that we've done. It was a big risk, and it's really paid dividends. We have got through COVID in terms of, well, let's hope that we've got through COVID. All of our sites are now open, I think, except for Auckland. They're all in really good health financially as well as mentally and physically, so that was really important. And then in terms of the achievements off the back of, empowering the good people in our organisation, our staff and our franchisees, we went into COVID with, I think, nearly 70 stores open and about 150 sold, and we've come out with just under 140 open and over 300 sold. So we're really proud of the trajectory that we've been on, and the ability to continue to drive into new markets, support our franchisees, And then obviously through a really challenging time where we were trying to navigate the USA, and Richard and I were talking about actually upping stumps in Australia here and spending some time over there just to get some boots on the ground and some infrastructure, and look potential investors in the eye, because it was becoming very difficult for people to invest in our brand when they can't meet the people who are running the organisation, and it was very difficult for us to have staff over there. And we're very fortunate to meet Anthony at Exponential and the team, and we were a really good fit. We're very aligned, and we're very excited by the ability to work with Exponential and for them to run the USA, and for us to continue to run BFT throughout the rest of the globe. So it's a really good partnership, and so that transaction, along with the health of our franchisees, is the two things that we're most proud of coming out of these really strange times.
Really awesome news, Cam. Really, really great to see, and a real positive story for the industry as well. And I think that final deal is really, testament to the work that you and the team put in. I really love how you doubled down, increased your headcount, which must have been a little bit hard to do and a little bit scary, but that certainly paid dividends, and it's certainly a reflection of the great work that you and the team have done. So really, congrats. Really, really happy for you. Jarron, take it away.
Thank you.
I think from my side, we can hear definitely a trend on teamwork and people that drive organizations. But on our side, it is the business resilience and teamwork that I'm most proud of across our organization. For me, it was incredible to see everyone band together. We did everything we could in our power to make sure we retained all our staff right through the period, even during the peak downturns with government assistance, and then again, the lockdowns without government assistance, to make sure that we have continuity of support for the brands that we service, because it's in these trying times that actually everyone expects that support level to increase, and just the administration load that can be replaced through ongoing innovation through technology. We doubled down and brought on more engineers so that we could actually go and ship stuff faster to the market. And it was incredible to see brands adopt all these new strategies that we were putting out to the marketplace, from whether it was bulk administration tools to open and close your business in two clicks, or it was actually leveraging some of the digital content, integrated content pieces in the mix in the business. And then that afforded me some time to work with some of our great brands that we work with around the world, to listen and understand exactly where additional pain points were. And because we still had the team around us and we're also motivated by solving these common challenges across the industry that everyone didn't plan for, but we all faced for many, many months, it was just incredible to see everyone band together, and the teamwork and power of sticking together as a great company and people that have aligned. So I think for me, that's been the most rewarding part about being part of this OneFitStop family and being part of the brands that we service, because I think all the relationships that everyone has had over the COVID period, whether it was between boutique brands in the industry or vendors and customers, or even vendors, we've seen those relationships strengthen because we had to all work together in order to see through this period, or it wasn't going to be the same outcome that it has been now towards the tail end of this period.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're certainly seeing some consistent themes amongst you, that really investing in your team, making sure that they're okay, really focusing on the community within your team. And that's going to then have a knock-on effect to the clients as well, right? And it's just interesting that you've really kind of put your team as one of the first things that you said. And we certainly did that at Base, and you can see how that affects the client experience as well. So that's really awesome to hear. Emma, you've got some different perspectives on the industry as a consultant, and obviously you're part of Good Soul Hunting. So yeah, tell us about some of the lessons that you've learned and any achievements that you're proud of in the last year.
Yeah, well, in many ways, I don't have the teams that perhaps some of the people on this panel do. And so I've sort of sat a lot more in advisory, and I'd sort of say that my biggest lesson, and we've all been to hell and back and up and down and what's going on and all the rest of it, but I would say that as fast as it seems now, this is the slowest that it will ever be, because conversations we were having 2 years ago were about AI and 5G and whatever. Now we're talking about metaverse and realities, and we're talking about whole industries coming together who were adjacent and somewhat siloed that are now becoming the same world, in the way that I see it, and I can sort of see, we've seen entertainment, we've seen money and specs and huge, three-way deals happening around the world of unusual people coming together. We've seen ClassPass, we've seen MindBody, we've seen Mirror, we've seen Lululemon. So we've seen all these relatively disparate industries be pulled together during these times, at the same time as all of us have got a lot better at what we do. So here in the US, at least, we lost about 22% of our market. Now, some of those were good people. Some of them probably weren't on a strong enough business basics and all of those things. But for whatever reason, that's gone away. However, we talk about boom or bust. There's definitely been this lift of franchising, licensing, exponential being a great example. We've watched F45, we've watched a whole lot of companies, either IPO or SPAC or whatever it was, to really grow. So what I'm seeing now is things are about to get really good, because technology is better. We're hearing Jarron talk about what OneFitStop does, for example. Everyone's tightened everything and made it better and made it valuable and personalised it and all of those things. We've all gone away and done what we do really well. Now that we're all coming back together, we're going, oh, goodness, I don't need to do that because someone can do that for me. So, for example, sell my franchises in the United States, which you could spend the rest of your life doing, or you could partner with someone like Exponential and do that. So people are really beginning to coming together. We're seeing the entertainment, we're seeing celebrity, athleisure, medical, all of these industries are really sort of piling in together. So I see it as quite a big celebration. I'm not, I'm definitely underscoring a lot of people have had a really, really tough time and it's been really hard. But as we come back, there is so much more on offer now. The quality and the connections between people, I've never felt so connected despite never seeing everyone so seldom. That's been ridiculous because we've all had to work on different terms. So I'm very excited overall for the industry, and every conversation I have is light years on what it was 2 years ago.
Can I just ask, Emma, on the recruitment side through Good Soul Hunting, have you seen like a bit of a ramp up recently in companies wanting to recruit top talent?
Yes, 100%. So we saw a few ebbs and flow through the pandemic. First of all, there was just despair and desperation, like what on earth's going on and I've lost my job and whatever. So there's definitely that phase. Then there was people were prepared to take anything, because during desperate times, wars and recessions and pandemics, we tend to get desperate and just wonder where the next meal's coming from. So we definitely saw a lot of people sort of leaping in and doing it. Now, of course, we're in what you might have heard, the Great Resignation, where people have actually sat in their rooms for, several months and gone, actually, what kind of life do I want to lead now? And if something is not exactly 100% values aligned and I don't 100% believe in the vision, and maybe I want to be my own man or my own woman, whatever it is, we're seeing a real reshuffling right now. But we have seen an enormous amount of wonderful talent move adjacently. That same theme that I spoke of before, a lot of people who have been where you are going have come from another industry. They haven't necessarily come from fitness or your particular branch. So we're definitely seeing a very eclectic mix of people out there, lots of talent. And we've seen definitely the birth of some roles like, growth marketers, definitely people who have been through digital, who have an omni-channel background, and also people who are very highly skilled but maybe don't have 10 or 20 or 30 years experience. They want people who are coming straight out of the coding schools and straight out of the real fast what's happening today, and actually being able to put that straight into market. So everything to do with growth, everything to do with marketing, everything to do with scaling, everything to do with new markets. We're seeing a lot of roles in those positions for sure. And people have to have a technical bent. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. Interesting to hear what we've seen at base here in Bangkok, because there's a lot of people from working from home have realized they want a change of career. And we've actually had a lot of applicants, whether it's a coaching roles or back office roles, where they've had to reflect on what they really want to do. So that's been really interesting to see as well, and could be a shift that we continue to see developing. All right, guys, I want to talk about community. Now, we've talked a bit about our team. I want to talk about kind of the wider community, clients, and of course, for Cam and Selina, that also means your franchisees as well. So I know we talked about that before, Selina. Tell us a little bit more about how you built that community within your franchise network?
Absolutely, yes. Community for us, the franchise partners are, I'd say, equally, if not more important than our clients, because it is through them that the brand and the experiences are delivered. So being able to keep our franchise partners engaged, supported so that they can get through challenging times on par with the vision, that really has to be a key priority. Of course, things are always better when you can see people in person, just the energy and the correct interpretation of conversations. It's just we've definitely missed that, and not being able to travel from Melbourne and be in studios and interstate. But we have just tried to step it up in terms of our digital Zoom meetings, and we do quarterly business updates, whereas previously it'd be an in-person all network meeting where we're delivering results. Now we've just increased the frequency in every quarter, being able to update progression and new ideas. And actually that's been really good this year. So we've done 3. And that's just been a really great way of delivering the facts and the strategy and the progress. And we know that next year, when we can meet in person, it will actually be more relationship based, just collaborative versus delivering kind of stats and information. So just really using Zoom and online platforms, consciously connecting with owners as well, and not thinking, oh, well, I'm sure they're okay. Myself, Andy, Aaron, members of the management team picking up the phone and just having a virtual coffee, catch up. No agenda, no purpose, but just to connect. So really just making sure that we've kept up that frequency. So yeah, owners absolutely key. Trainers are a key stakeholder group for us as well. So we have some that we employ directly in our company studios. We've got 12. And then the rest are employed by the owners and the franchise partners. But the trainers are the absolute soul of our business. So we've carried on with monthly masterclasses. We deliver them either ourselves through the national training team and through a couple of strategic partners. We've got Unite Health and also the Knowledge Exchange. So just free workshops for our trainers to come to. And yeah, we make sure that sort of the training and refresher workshops have certainly continued during lockdown so that our trainers don't lose interest or, go off and sort of forget what KX is all about. And then, of course, clients. And being able to deliver KX at home, which was our on-demand solution, both live and on demand, that's kept clients and trainers connected to the brand. So whilst the majority has been dynamic mat Pilates versus the reformer Pilates we have in studio, it's just been a really great way for our clients to then be able to connect with the trainers that they love, for trainers to keep connecting with the workouts and teaching. And that's really been an element of being able to keep people connected. Of course, that's only the lockdown studios. For the states which are open, it's just been wonderful to have the studios operating as normal. And so our split responsibility is making sure those franchise partners have everything they need in their toolbox to be able to just run a really great KX studio with challenges and just general inspiration for the clients to keep them connected whilst we've been dealing with lockdown here in Victoria.
That's awesome. And I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun to get all the franchisees together next year in person. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing you guys in person. Hopefully the Fit Summit can kick off again and we can all go and celebrate in Singapore. Cam, tell us a bit more about how you've built community amongst your franchisees. I know you signed a lot of new guys on as well this year, which is really, really great to see. Yeah, tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think initially it was almost easier at the start. It sounds strange because it was so new and uncertain, but everyone was shut down. So as Selina was just saying, as this has evolved, we've had sort of 2/3 of Australia open and 1/3 closed. And then in New Zealand, there's been rolling lockdowns, and Singapore the same. So it was certainly far easier at the start when everyone was shut down and we could focus really on the member experience through our online platform and continue to try and engage and maintain those communities. And then as it evolved and other states were open and running pretty much normally, whilst Victoria was closed and then New South Wales was coming in out of lockdowns, it became a real challenge to try and manage the normal side of the business, let's call it, the standard operating, and then the sites that were closing and opening and closing and opening. And there's a real element of fatigue, not just for the franchisees, but for the members. So we had to really think laterally. Our regional franchise managers did a fantastic job, in particular in the last 6 months with Victoria and New South Wales in particular. We did some fantastic cross-border online workouts. We had 1,000 people on a Saturday morning working out together from different regions around Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore, which was amazing. So that was just an awesome way to connect people. And actually, one of the best things I've ever seen, seeing 1,000 people logging off of Zoom, saying goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. It was actually something that put a real smile on my face, just seeing the energy from people, through our online platform, feeling connected, wanting to be connected, because our businesses are built on communities. Whilst it's exercise and it's all the science behind it, etc., it's a community, your local body fit training studio. So I think the challenge of having open and closed studios made us work harder and made our regional franchise managers and our marketing people work a lot harder to be more innovative, so that we could keep on connecting in different ways, because it really is hard online. Like, it's really difficult when it's body weight exercises week in, week out, every day. It gets really challenging and it can get a bit monotonous. So we really lent on our franchisees as well. We did franchisee surveys, member surveys. What were they loving? What could we do differently? And there's always limitations. But so I think the work our team did at head office to engage the franchisees and ask them, what is it that you want? How can we actually really help you now? I think Victoria and Selina may be able to jump in here, but I think on Friday of last week, it was 370 days that Victorians were shut down, which is, just staggering to actually think about that. And in between the lockdowns, there hasn't been a period since, 23rd of March, 2020, where we've actually operated at 100%. So it's a significant impact, not just on the businesses from a financial perspective, but mentally for franchisees to go back into lockdown, flick the switch to online, really get engaged, in front of a camera again and get that set up properly. Then you're back in a studio, it's limited, restricted, then you're back on Zoom again. So really managing the emotional side of that, really managing not just for franchisees, but also the members, and really working hard to keep them engaged, because there was a huge amount of fatigue. And Emma said it well. I think what it's done is people have got together. It's also given members the opportunity to look at other brands. I'm getting a bit flat with my body fit training online program. What else is out there? So that was another challenge that you may not have had if you kept, if we're inside the four walls of our studios and being face to face. So again, that's another thing that we had to embrace and say, okay, how do we be better? How do we be different? How do we continue to evolve? And that's one of the real positives that's come out of this. We did Celebrity Saturdays. We had, Australian celebrities, whether they were sports people or politicians and other things, come on Saturdays and do workouts with our members and engage. So there's lots of fantastic innovation. And I think that's one of the things that has been great for the industry as a whole. Whether it's promoting, I know Selina at KX, we've been talking about doing some work together. I think it's getting parties to talk together, and rather than operate in a silo and be, I guess, super protective of just yourself. So, okay, how can we actually work together? It is a difficult time, but if we are collaborative, we can come out the other side and come out a lot better. Not just from a business perspective, for the members, the communities, and also for our franchisees financially. And so, it's the innovation over the last 18 months across a whole range. It's easy to talk about the digital platforms, but just member engagement, building communities online, things that we never thought that we would ever have to be doing, because we're a four-wall brick and mortar business. So that's been a really interesting space for us to learn and embrace and evolve.
Yeah, it's certainly tough to differentiate online and to sort of really keep people motivated, like you said. And I think that's really where community comes through, and the strength of the brand can kind of get you through those times. Jarron, I really like your ethos of owning your members and how that really helps to build community. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's been fascinating watching brands go online and build digital communities. We have the privilege of working with both BFT and KX, and you both had very different strategies. But I think what was common is that the attention to detail, to actively communicate and realize that you have to start to differentiate your online offering is absolutely key to be successful. And new and refreshing content all the time and active communication to the database is what's going to set you apart. It became so fragmented, the industry and the online space. There were a lot of options out there. So you had to leverage the brand equity that you had with your members and clients in the four walls. And then you have to take that online and keep that interest there. And I think from our perspective, this comes back to our ethos, as you're saying, in that we are strong believers that OneFitStop as a vendor is there to provide a service to our brands that we're catering to, but really it's the brand's relationship with their customers that they need to own. And that means that whether it's KX or BFT, you guys are going out actively and you have full access to your entire database. You own all of their journeys. If you want to go and build an app like BFT to you from the ground up and innovate around heart rate and other training programming, you can do so. And you can do that by tapping into a database that is yours. We don't want to interject in the middle of those relationships. We want to provide tools so that you can then be successful in creating those relationships and community. And in the same way, KX used some of our inbuilt tools in the branded app experience to go and take KX Live to the market, leveraging our tools, but it was completely branded. There is no mention of OneFitStop. It's only the KX brand that gets put out to the market because that brand equity needs to remain intact. And I feel that any provider that is not allowing businesses to keep that brand equity intact is basically tapping into their communities. And therefore, through pandemics or ups and downs as we go through into the future, hopefully mainly ups, but that just depletes your ability to go out back to that community and drive value in your own unique ways. And so I think that it's really important to own your database. And then from there, you can then build your communities stronger.
Yeah, that's really awesome to hear. And I'm sure the gyms and studios that use OneFitStop are happy that you want to build them up and invest in their brand and really put them at the forefront. That's really great to hear. Emma, can you tell us any insights with the companies that you've been working with, any interesting things you've seen in the fitness industry in terms of how companies, gyms, studios have built community?
Yeah, it's I've got a couple of examples that come to mind. And, let's just say it. The boutique sector overperformed in this area because all the things that we're great at, this made it a bit of a perfect storm for us in the sense that we know our customers really well. We have a very fine-tuned and focused offering, so we have very like-minded people going in there. And also we tend to get really energetic people who are very innovative by nature, who, especially when they're up against the wall, are able to come up with these things. We've seen so many great success stories around members, around education, around pulling in the broader community, because we all have our mayors, the people who basically sell our products for us. They're our those super users from within who basically, you point to them and you're like, that's why you would want to join your place. So I think to see those sorts of people on steroids during these times have been really interesting. I've also seen times where people have come away from the fitness industry a little bit and more into community. I worked with one brand and we basically took away all fitness marketing, all fitness gobbledygook, all the things that my parents might walk in and go, you know what, I feel odd here. I feel weird. I feel like a freak. And they stripped it right back to just community. And I don't mean just community. I mean, literally people socially being here and people who have your back. And by changing the marketing and the messaging and the words we were using, and even the way that you introduced a person to this place, you didn't come and try a free workout or whatever it was. You had to be introduced by someone who cared about you enough to come to this facility and who was likely to be your friend beyond, because we know that that's when people stay. We're all going to lose half our members otherwise, not so much in the boutique space, but definitely in the big clubs. So even by taking community and boiling it right down to exactly what it is and stripping away everything else actually strengthens that as well. So that was a really nice example. And to see that brand now as we pull out of COVID, still not using bicep curls and all the things that we see on all our marketing material, still not doing all our cheap and nasty, here comes January, let's all, lose another 10K and forget about it by February. So what I'm loving is a lot of that stuff is going away because we're now talking to people much deeper now. We've had health taken away. We've had people taken away. We've had fitness taken away. We've had freedoms taken away. And it's an interesting thing happens to us when we sit in that space and we sit here and we really work out what is important to us. And I really hope, and certainly the businesses I've been working with, we sat down and we took a long, hard think around what people were really wanting. And they told us, and some of the better clubs over here in the States who did particularly well during this time were educating and talking and having mindful, strengthening up their mind practices. They would have doctors and nutritionists and all sorts of interesting people from the community coming in and perhaps sitting on a couch or Zooming in. And people fell in love with educating. They fell in love with being very mindful and actually going, goodness, this is my life. I can actually run it. I can be the CEO of my life. I can learn all these things out there. And they've come back a lot more mindful, a lot more prioritized, and a lot more easy to serve if you're prepared to serve them in the ways that they're asking to be served. And that, I think we can, because in the old days, we'll, say the hellos and we would do all the hygiene factors, but it's the next level. It's the next level of what am I looking for as a customer service agent in this wonderful industry? What can we do to push that forward? And, it's things like hospitality. What do hospitality do really well? Now that we've started traveling again, I'm really noticing little nuances that people are doing. They're really kind and they're really taking care on some of the details because it really matters to people. So, just some of the things I'm seeing around community.
Yeah, lots of great lessons there that I'd really like to dig deeper into, but we're going to jump to technology. We can talk about that more on the podcast. I'd love to hear more about what you guys have been doing on the technology front. So what have you been doing in the last 18 months? And then we can start to talk about what plans you have for next year. And specifically, will live stream and on-demand be part of your offering in 2022? So have the platform to talk about the tech side of your business, Emma, and you can talk about any insights that you have into the tech side as well. And we're going to start off with Selina.
Well, look, technology-wise, we do work very closely with OneFitStop, as Jarron said, and to Emma's point, OneFitStop are our strategic partner in that space. So I'm not going to turn KX into a technology business. We need to find the right partners to work with. And over the last 18 months, I've really been using and work with OneFitStop to enhance client experiences. Like I said, that's the online workout experience, which we haven't planned for, but we're able to launch that last year during COVID. The way we communicate, that's actually really key. We're working with OneFitStop on more of a retention-based engagement communication tool to keep our clients very much aware and personalized communication. So being able to actually use technology to enhance the way we talk to our clients is really important. We also use technology in the way we deliver our training programs. We have a KX Academy program, so all new trainers go through Academy. And of course, when you can't do things in person, we've been able to adapt and deliver some of the training online, obviously through technology. So technology is definitely very, very key in what we do. But actually, we invested in people. So at the start of last year, I had a new system specialist project manager join the team, which has been excellent. So someone who can really then understand and drive the thinking and the forward thinking with what we need from KX. We're just about to hire another member of that team. Again, just really realizing how significant that is across client experiences, trainer experiences, even the way we talk to our franchise partners as well. So actually building the people within the technology team so that we can respond and be proactive in that space. And to your point, yes, the whole KX at home experience will continue to exist. I think this time last year, we were thinking, do we need it? Do we not? Do we shut it down? It's obviously been great to have that platform ready to go. And even this year, we did change some of the back end functionality just to make it easier and allow people with their in-studio credits to be able to use their credits online. And it might sound really simple and obvious, but initially how it was set up, it wasn't there. So we've tried to already iterate what we have. And I think that will be key, making sure that we keep it there, but we make sure it does represent the brand in terms of quality of the workouts, and then obviously the client experience as well. Whether it becomes, how big it becomes, I think for us it's value add to our business. Like Cam, we are very much based on the in-studio experience, which we know people are desperate and already running back into. So we know that's really where our absolute expertise and the personalization can really happen. But being able to have on-demand and that hybrid, which I do believe will stay. I think we've now had a lot of experience of working out at home. There's definitely many people who want to do in-studio and at home. We need to make sure our at home matches that client expectation.
Yeah, good insights. I think we've really seen over the last 18 months that it's just sort of a process of trial and error, right? Coming in lockdown, out of lockdown, who stays online, who comes back into the gym, and just sort of playing around with that and seeing how we can use that in the future. And I'm sure that will continue to adapt as time goes on. Cameron, it's really interested to hear what you've been doing on the tech front, and also interested to hear how Exponential might be able to help, with their experience and their resources.
Yeah, it's well, we built an online platform. We were somewhat fortuitous to have COVID hit America and Singapore before it reached the shores of Australia and New Zealand. So that gave us a bit of a jump and a head start and a view into what the future might look like. And we were able to get the online platform up and running pretty quickly. And because we are an in-studio experience and it was unknown, we really decided that if we could get the online experience to like an 8 out of 10, and that was going to be good enough for us. And to be quite honest, the last few months we were thinking that maybe we needed to continue to evolve it, because particularly in Victoria, we weren't sure whether we were going to come out of it any time soon. But we've also innovated in the heart rate space. We've just built our own software. We've had fantastic partners with MyZone, who have been great for our brand and are really good people, and we've had a really strong partnership with them. But we've gone away and built some of our own software just to complete the four-wall experience with BFT, so that the member journey is 100% complete. Previously, what was happening is, because of third parties, we're having an app over here, an app over there, an app over there, where you get different data and different metrics through our technology partners. We've worked really hard to consolidate that. All of our member touch points are now in one spot. And then obviously with Jarron and OneFitStop, all of our booking and CRM, that's in another app. So we've gone from having about 5 different member touch points through apps to 2 apps now. And that's been a huge project for us. The software for the heart rate in particular has been a really big project for us. And then the third one has been education, and being online and having to educate franchisees online. We call it our induction is called a boot camp. It's a week-long training where they learn everything from sort of the back end of the business, sales, marketing, brand, etc., to the training side of the business and technology. To do that online, we learned very quickly was a real challenge, in person, someone answers their phone or the phone rings, it's 10 kettlebell swings at the end of the day for the whole group, and it just accumulates as a penalty. So if people aren't immersed in the experience, they learn about it pretty quickly, but it's hard to do that online. So we've built out education now. We have pre-learning before they actually come to the boot camp, and that's been certified through Fitness Australia and NZ Reps, etc. And we're talking with NASM and ACE for those markets where they're the sort of the governing or the go-to certifications. And we've just recently done another online boot camp, and we have actually put more boot camps on, but with less numbers, because it's really hard to have 30 odd people on a boot camp and really keep everyone engaged, especially when you're teaching them exercise and movement and coaching and cueing and body positioning, etc. So we've done more boot camps, less people, but the innovation in the tech space with our online education and certifications has allowed us to actually get a lot of the talking, a lot of the theory, and a lot of the background information out to them. They have to sit an exam online and pass before they can come to the boot camp. But it's allowing us to coach more and to have a higher and deeper level of conversation with the people once they're attending. So using technology in the education space has really been beneficial for us. And it's something that we're really looking forward to actually expanding now and growing to support our franchisees. We can't be face-to-face all the time with the growth that we're on. There's going to be restrictions and mini lockdowns I envisage for the next 12 or so months. So not being able to get to New Zealand face-to-face, but being able to provide a really awesome online education platform and then support that still with online training has been something that's been a challenge, but something we've really embraced and learned a lot from. And we feel like after 18 months, we've almost nailed it, and that's really exciting. And then the partnership with Exponential is really exciting. They have studios set up in Irvine, California for each of their brands. They film 9 hours of content a day. They're really sophisticated in that space. I'm looking forward to jumping on a plane in 3 weeks and heading over there and working with the team about what does the future look like for us. what have we been planning for the next 18 to 36 months, and sharing that with them, and then getting their feedback and their insights. It's great to have a fresh set of eyes on our brand. The transaction happened really quickly, so they're still learning about body fit training and what actually are we about, and what's our USP and our unique position in the marketplace. So it'll be fantastic to have a fresh set of eyes to really look over and tear the business apart and put it back together, and challenge us on some of our thinking and some of our methodologies, and then forge forward into 2022. We're really looking forward to a fresh start in 22, and the technology space with Exponential is really exciting for us.
I'm sure there's a lot they can do to help out, and you can really use their experience with all the brands that they work with and are under that umbrella. So Jarron, you are the technology partner, of course, that many people go to help with that side. So yeah, tell us more about what you guys have been doing. I'm sure you've been very active in that area.
It's been really interesting over the last couple months going out to most of our brands to get a feel for how many are going to continue the services for their live streaming and on-demand playbook into 2022 and beyond. And almost 100% of our brands do tell us that this is going to be part of their strategy going forward. But similar to how we originally envisaged this space and where it was going to go to, it really is a brand extension most of the time, but then you can leverage it extensively when it comes to challenges or other activities or event-based signals throughout the year, and where you can activate it a little bit more. And so I think when we started to position ourselves in the market, it wasn't just live streaming and on demand. That was typically where everyone went to, because that's where most of the holes had to be patched. We made an active investment into supporting both the live streaming, two-way streams through the Zoom integration, but also a broadcast view for brands that want to go out to the masses, the on-demand library, but also general articles, so blog-style articles and news that you can release through the app, targeted banners based on people's member journey, so using it as a marketing tool. So if you're on an introductory offer, you see certain content, and when you convert, you see other content, or just multiple levels behind the paywall to incentivize people to take that journey. So even when you're thinking about selling a challenge, it can unlock different content in the app that can supplement the in-club training experience. And I think that's where it can be utilized extensively. And beyond the articles, we also support recipes. And in the coming weeks, we have audio series as well as workouts and exercises coming out through that app experience. So I think once you combine all these different areas of multimedia and tools in that toolbox, and you use it as a marketing suite, not necessarily as a standalone, digital product and $9.95 competing with the masses, but really as a value add to your database, it's going to create another wave of innovation in the space that all consumers and clients and members are going to expect from brands these days. And it's actually been really fascinating because, and Emma, you touched on this, that in the boutique space, it's we're at the forefront of building communities, and we have a high touch point experience with members already. In the big box space, it's been slightly different, and the catch up has been much more massive compared to boutique. But we are seeing the big box space come and look at creating those types of experiences now more extensively also in the long run, because consumers these days are, before they used to hold potentially a big box membership and then also go between multiple boutiques. It's particularly in the US, that's very common. But nowadays, there's another layer. Like they'll have their digital subscription, they'll go to 2 to 3 boutiques, and they'll hold a gym membership. And I don't think that one product is necessarily going to replace the other. But when you start to, interact with those boutiques or big boxes that have these tools in their ecosystem as that brand extension, and they're using it for marketing purposes and another touch point, another hook in that journey, I think it's only going to strengthen your relationship to retain members and clients for a longer period in the long haul. And I think that's definitely the sentiment we're seeing from all of our brands as they think about embedding that into their ongoing strategies into 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. Great insights. Thank you. So we've got about a minute left each. I wanted to bring it back to the first question that we posed. Will 2022 be a year of boom or bust for boutiques? So we've got 60 seconds each. We're going to have to strictly keep it to that. Yes or no? How will it be? And any other quick insights would be awesome. And we're going to start off with Selina.
I think it will be boom, because everyone's desperate to get back in. And I think that real personalization and connection with the community is what will draw people back. I absolutely agree with Emma, and we've seen it internally as well. We will have variety, and there will be new people joining the fitness industry, which is exciting, because then there'll be a little bit of change in thinking. And we've even got that within our team, people coming from very different backgrounds. I love the way that we are, it's pushing us to think differently for KX as well. So I think it's going to be boom, and there's going to be some variety and a bit of change.
Awesome. So 1 vote for boom. Cam?
I agree with Selina. Boom for me. We're already seeing it in our studios. The rebound out of COVID has been phenomenal for us and other brands I know. And people have been starved of that, not just the fitness, but the connection and their community and their sacred space that they have for their 1 or so hour a day that they go to for their exercise. And that combined with the sort of the exponential growth in the technology space, which has been fantastic for the industry, and I think it's just starting. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. I think, this model of brick and mortar 4-wall studio, plus supported by, significant advancement in technology in the last 12 months, it's going to be boom, boom, boom for me.
That's 2-0 to boom. Jarron?
Definitely a boom. I think we've seen some market consolidation. We've seen new strategic partnerships, new money pouring in. At the same time, you've had closures of fitness facilities, opening up room for expansion of those that remain. And then you got the eagerness of members and clients to return back to training in club and also have these ongoing digital experiences. So I think that all these things culminating together and hopefully doors staying open for prolonged periods now will definitely all create that boom.
3-0, looking good. Emma?
I don't know. Would any of us be on here if we said bust? Look, we're going to see huge diversification. Not only our millennials, we're going to see a whole lot of other cohorts that are met through the boutique offering, being able to specialise and really focus in on new groups. Franchising's on fire. We know that we're seeing the big roll-ups. We know that the technologies are going to get really good, which I also believe is going to bring a new crowd as well, the realities, the ARs, the VRs, etc. I also believe that bricks and mortar, I don't think gyms have gone through it yet, but there's going to be even more evolution in the bricks and mortar space that make it even more enticing in the same way that we're seeing in retail right now, the very phygital environments that Nike and all their friends are beginning to create as well. So I think there's a lot of room to move there. There's also a lot of room to move in events. And of course, there's going to be omni-channel. So wherever you are, you're going to be able to do whatever you want. And I think boutique will be able to put their hand on your heart and follow you around because we do such a great job of that.
Thank you, Emma. Well, I'm going to make it a clean sweep of 5 booms. We've been open for a month and we're seeing it getting more booming every single week at base. So I can certainly agree with you on that point there. Thank you for joining, guys. I'd happily talk to you for 3 hours, but the Fit Summit wouldn't be too happy. So we're going to have to wrap it up there. But when we meet in person, for sure, we can have a good chit chat. Very, very much looking forward to the next in-person event. Thank you to Ross, the Fit Summit team, for putting this event on. It really is awesome to connect with you guys digitally. I'm very happy for everything that you do for the industry, and great to hear so many success stories in the industry. So Selina, Cam, Jarron, and Emma, thanks again, and I'll catch you guys soon. Take care.